When I married Daniel, I thought I knew everything about him. He was kind, dependable, and funny, with a smile that could light up a room. We'd been together for 3 years before tying the knot, and I was confident that we had no secrets between us. But then, one day, I met his ex-girlfriend and everything changed. It started innocently enough. Daniel and I had just moved into our new apartment in the city. We were unpacking boxes, hanging pictures, and arguing over where to put the coffee table when he casually mentioned, "Oh, by the way, my ex-girlfriend lives in this neighborhood." I froze mid-step, holding a photo frame in my hands. "Your ex-girlfriend?" I asked, trying to keep my tone light, though my interest was immediately piqued. "Yeah, Claire," he said, shrugging as if it were no big deal. "We dated for a while before I met you. It didn't work out, obviously." I nodded, pretending to be unbothered, but curiosity burned inside me. Who was Claire? What was she like? Why had their relationship ended? I didn't want to seem insecure, so I didn't press him for details. Instead, I changed the subject and tried to focus on getting our apartment organized. A week later, I met Claire for the first time. It happened unexpectedly. I was at the local coffee shop, waiting for my latte, when a tall, elegant woman with wavy brunette hair and a confident smile walked in. She greeted the barista by name as if she came here often. I didn't think much of it until she glanced in my direction and her eyes lit up. "You must be Daniel's wife," she said, her tone friendly but with a hint of something I couldn't quite place. "I'm Claire." For a moment I was too stunned to respond. This was her. She was beautiful, effortlessly so, like someone who belonged on the cover of a magazine. Her presence was magnetic, and I suddenly felt self-conscious in my jeans and oversized sweater. "Yes, I'm Emily," I finally managed to say, forcing a smile. "It's nice to meet you." We exchanged pleasantries, and she asked how I was settling into the neighborhood. She seemed polite and charming, but there was an undercurrent of familiarity in the way she spoke about Daniel. She mentioned things like, "Oh, Daniel always loved this coffee shop," and "He used to bring me here all the time." It made me uncomfortable, though I couldn't quite explain why. When I got home, I told Daniel about the encounter. He laughed and said, "That's Claire for you. She's always been friendly." I wanted to ask him more about their relationship, but I didn't want to seem jealous or insecure, so I let it go. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Over the next few weeks, I ran into Claire more often. She seemed to be everywhere, at the grocery store, at the park where I liked to jog, even at the bookstore I frequented. Each time she greeted me warmly and struck up a conversation. She told me about her job as a graphic designer, her love for yoga, and her passion for cooking. She was so likable that I almost felt guilty for disliking her. But there were moments when her words felt like subtle jabs. Once she mentioned how Daniel had helped her move into her first apartment. Another time she reminisced about a road trip they'd taken together. She always spoke as if she and Daniel still shared a special bond, something I wasn't a part of. I tried to brush it off. After all, Daniel had chosen me. We were married. I had nothing to worry about, or so I thought. One evening, Daniel and I were having dinner when Claire's name came up again. "I ran into Claire at the park today," I said casually. Daniel looked up from his plate, his expression unreadable. "Oh? What did she say?" "Nothing important. She just mentioned how the park reminded her of the time you two used to go jogging there together." Daniel sighed and set down his fork. "Emily, is something bothering you?" I hesitated. "It's just, she talks about you a lot. It's like she's trying to remind me that you two have history." Daniel reached across the table and took my hand. "Claire and I are over. We ended things years ago. She's a nice person, but she's part of my past. You're my present and my future. Don't let her get into your head." His words reassured me, but a small part of me still felt uneasy. The turning point came a month later. I was hosting a small dinner party for some friends, and Daniel had invited a few of his old college buddies. To my surprise, Claire showed up. She wasn't invited, but she claimed she'd run into one of Daniel's friends earlier that day, and he'd mentioned the party. She arrived with a bottle of wine and a dazzling smile, acting as if she belonged there. I could tell Daniel was uncomfortable, but he was too polite to ask her to leave. Throughout the evening, Claire made herself the center of attention. She told stories about Daniel from his college days, making everyone laugh. She even teased him about his old habits, like how he used to leave his socks everywhere. Everyone seemed charmed by her except me. At one point, she pulled me aside in the kitchen. "You're lucky to have Daniel," she said, her tone sweet but her words cutting. "He's a wonderful man. I always knew he'd make someone very happy." I smiled tightly. "Yes, I am lucky. And I'm glad he found me." For the first time, Claire's confident facade faltered. She looked at me for a long moment, then said, "Take good care of him," before walking away. After the party, I confronted Daniel. "Why didn't you tell her to leave?" I demanded. "I didn't want to cause a scene," he said, looking frustrated. "I didn't even know she was coming." "I'll talk to her, Emily. I promise." True to his word, Daniel spoke to Claire the next day. He told her that while he appreciated their past friendship, her presence in our lives was causing tension. He asked her to respect our boundaries and give us space. Claire didn't take it well. She stopped speaking to both of us, and though I occasionally saw her around the neighborhood, she always avoided eye contact. In the end, the experience brought Daniel and me closer. It taught us the importance of communication and setting boundaries. Claire was a part of Daniel's past, but I was his future, and that was all that mattered. Looking back, I realized that my initial insecurity wasn't about Claire at all. It was about my own fears and doubts. Once I let go of those, I could see the truth. Daniel loved me, and nothing, not even a gorgeous, confident ex-girlfriend, could change that. If learning English through stories is useful for you and you enjoyed listening to this story, I would be happy if you subscribe to me.